Hello, hi. So I got veneers 4 years ago. I filmed the whole process and then a lot of things happened in my life. I fell into a deep depression. And what happens when I fall into a deep depression is I stop posting on all social media. I don't know why. So anyways, I filmed this 4 years ago. And so now I've had these in my mouth for 4 years. So I feel like I could truly speak to the experience I had and having them in my mouth for 4 years.
I better go to the past.
About my teeth. So I have fucked up teeth. Yeah, so I haven't really been to the dentist. Well, I went obviously to go check like what's up with my teeth like a month ago, but before then it had been like 7 years since I had been to the dentist. I honestly wasn't really insecure growing up about my teeth. I thought it was kind of cool that I had canines next to my front teeth, but as I grew up into my adult body, it ended up looking a little bit weird. And so so you're born with the amount of teeth that you have in your skull when you're a baby. So I was genetically mutated, you can say. And I was born without my laterals, which are the two square teeth next to your front teeth. So my canines kind of grew in like sideways and kind of pushed. I used to have a gap. They kind of pushed my front teeth together and they took the place of my laterals. So my baby canines never got loose because of the angle they grew at. They never grew down to to push out my baby teeth, right? So the canines I have 4 canines in. 2 are adult teeth and the other 2 are baby teeth that I've had since, you know, whenever they grew out. I actually had an appointment that ended up being canceled, as you can see, because the firefighter trucks, I don't know what the hell's going on, but the alarm was going off as I opened the door. So yeah, which is fine because I kind of wanted to talk about it before I went. I don't even know what was supposed to happen today.
So I felt like I lost some footage, so I kind of explained what is going on in my mouth. But I didn't explain why I went with veneers versus other options. Or maybe I did and I lost the footage. But so like I said, I had 4 canines and 2 of them, the outer ones were my baby teeth and the ones next to my front teeth were my canines. I was born without my laterals. And what should have happened is, as a kid, I got x-rays like once when I was 14, and they did tell me that I needed braces. I needed to remove my baby teeth and then push the molars forward to close the gap. My dad didn't want to, so we didn't. And honestly, I have heard some people have issues with that later in the future, so it's fine. If I wanted implants, I would have had to get braces to open up the space in between my canines and my front teeth to put implants, but those are more complicated, more expensive. You have to have enough bone mass in your gums to be able to take the implant, and it can still reject. So those options took longer. They were more expensive. They did, however, like keep the integrity of your teeth. So I wish that I would have done a little bit more research and maybe gone to a second dentist to get another opinion. But I ended up going with veneers. And I did go with porcelain veneers instead of composite just because of the longevity, and they don't stain, so that's nice. I do a lot of things that stain my teeth, so it's nice to not have to worry about that. And I do have to keep up with my natural teeth and whiten those to make them look closer to the color of my veneer color. They're still a little more white than my other teeth, but honestly, it's fine. As far as getting them in my mouth, I thought it was a little painful.
I feel like they look too big for my mouth. This is one piece. I can't stick anything between. It's just to protect my shaved down teeth until they make the ones that they measured for each tooth. I'm gonna go back and have them file some more because it feels weird when I bite down. Like, I feel like my molars don't touch, but yeah, they look a little weird to me.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the feeling or the sound of having my enamel drilled off. I don't like the drill in my ear, and I didn't like tasting my teeth dust. I didn't like that. It gave me the heebie-jeebies, okay? So I thought it was painful. I would rate it a 5 or 6 out of 10. And I have a pretty high pain tolerance. So maybe teething is just, it's not for me. But, and I know a lot of people like that, but I did not have a good time. I didn't. They did make my tooth wrong at the lab. And so I did have to take one off and put it back on. And honestly, I never want to do that again. But I have to. I have to do it again in like 11 years.
Here I am. Here I am. Do they look normal? Do they look like for my face? Maybe they do. Maybe I'm tripping. So I'm gonna have the one that didn't sit right. Sit. I don't know. This one's getting taken out. A new one's getting put back in. I'm not excited. I totally bought headphones just for this because the sound of your own teeth crunching in your mouth is not pleasant. I'm not gonna lie. It is like pure torture, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Maybe I would. I understand why crazy people pull people's teeth out for torture, because that shit hurts. Something happened, and I think it's obvious what it was. This is a culprit. So this temporary tooth has popped out like at least 10 times. It was so inconvenient for me to have this for like 2 weeks. I had it come off on tortillas, chicken, like stuff that's not even crunchy. I hope it's easy to get off. It just sucked because I'm going in today and it's like strongest when you freshly glue it on. After it's been a couple days, it's easier to pop off. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm fucking annoyed. I feel like I can't complain because I got a really good price on the veneer. I paid less than $1,000 per tooth, and that's pretty good. Feel normal now, so this is what they look like. I feel like they're a little bit too large, so I'm going to have to whiten my bottom teeth because yeah, you know, it is what it is. I just like things that make my teeth yellow. So I did get them a little bit wider because I was planning on whitening my teeth anyways. Yeah, other than that, like the shape looks good, canines look great. I'm gonna go to the store today and buy some whitening strips. I do have like a little LED light, so I can use that like with them, and that'll hopefully help. And I do need to get a night guard because I clench my teeth and grind them so hard that sometimes I wake up and my teeth hurt a little bit. So I need to get that ASAP. I'll probably get that next week when I go to the dentist.
You have to replace them, I think, between 10 to 15 years. I'm sure if you didn't take care of them, they could last you less than that. So you have to decide whether or not you're the type of person that can floss every day, brush your teeth every day before you get these, because you don't have enamel. So when you don't have enamel, you're more prone to like tooth decay if something gets stuck. And these are on your teeth like a press-on nail, okay? They're glued on with resin, with a UV resin. And if you go to someone good, there's not going to be space for food to get stuck, but it's up to you to take care of flossing and brushing your teeth. And you do have to floss a little differently. There's times where I can't pull the floss back out, so I have to loop it through. So you just have to be careful with things like that because they can pop off. Mine have never popped off, thank God. The only tooth that popped off was a temporary tooth that I had like when they were fixing the one that was kind of off. You shouldn't do things like bite into apples, okay? You gotta be careful, cut them up and eat them. I did get a pretty good price. I remember paying around 6,500, I think, something like that. Yeah, I got 6. I will check and then put it up here, but it wasn't cheap, okay? But other things costed upwards of $12,000 to $13,000, so I just went and I paid it in payments. At that time, I was doing nails and money was really good. But so I paid it like in payments. And they also did accept care credit for that, even though it was cosmetic. So that's good. That's an option for you. Just keep in mind you have to get them redone every 10 to 15 years. So I'm gonna look up some questions that are frequently asked to see if I got all of them. So it was a process. I remember it took me about a month to get them put in, like from when they were shaved down to put in. And the temporary teeth looked a little crazy and felt a little weird because they're put on like as one piece, not like each individual tooth. So you couldn't floss or anything. It was just like a big mouth guard in your mouth for like 2 weeks or however long it took to get your teeth done. Because I remember they showed me a set of teeth and I was like, the canines are not sharp enough. So I made them redo it and I had to keep the temporary teeth in there while it happened because they have to shape the new teeth to your teeth once it's shaved, like once the enamel's off. It's like when you get your nails done and they shave it and then they, you know? So yeah, it's important to know that once you shave, I think it's common sense. Once you shave the enamel off, you can't grow it back. So that's what I say when do your research, because I really, cause it's not that I regret it because going back, I had no other options, but yeah, I wish that I would have maybe just stuck with my shit teeth until I made enough to do the other options or something. But like I said, my situation was different. I didn't know if I had enough bone marrow or bone, whatever. I can't just consider other options, even braces. I know it's like annoying that your teeth will look unsightly or if you're be however old with braces, but I think in the end, when it comes to the integrity of your teeth and having them last you your whole life, it seems like a better option. So that's just my opinion. And then I wish I did more research as far as like the shapes of your teeth and things like that. I wish there was more stepping in my teeth. I wish maybe I had kept a little gap in the front or something that made me look more like me, because I did have an imperfect smile and I somewhat miss that when I look in the mirror. And it's not that I think these look bad, I think they look great, but it's just something that made me me. If you're gonna get veneers, just really study teeth and look at teeth and the shape of them and have a preference in mind, and don't be scared to make your lab remake them, okay? You're spending all this money. What's the rush? You know, I was in a rush. I think I was in a dark place, so I wanted to feel something, some kind of instant gratification. I was, at that time, me and the father of my child had separated and my cat of 15 years had died. Yeah, I feel like I really rushed the process, and like there's no reason to, because they're gonna be in your mouth for over a decade and you're paying a lot of money for them. So just really study like the teeth that you like, the stepping. Are they round? Are they squared? Are the canines sharp? Are they not? And then also I think maybe I should have gotten 8 teeth instead of 6, because sometimes I feel like my canines cut off my smile and maybe one more would make it look wider. And also last thing, so people's canines are naturally a little bit like a shade darker than the rest of their teeth. I think that maybe putting that into your veneers would make them look more natural, because I feel like mine don't look natural and it's fine compared to what I had. Like I said, I always compared to what I had before and what was possible for my mouth. As far as me adjusting to the teeth, I feel like it took me a while. I feel like I had to relearn how to speak because I have more things in my mouth. There's less gaps. It's like, obviously they're putting something on top of your teeth, so it feels like forward, right? And I already had an overbite, so I did feel like I had to relearn how to talk so that I didn't sound weird. Yeah, eating was normal. I can bite, besides like being able to bite into an apple or anything. So the adjustment wasn't hard, and I did end up getting a mouth guard. I feel like my body freaked out, like, oh my god, what's in my mouth? And I was grinding my teeth really hard the first few weeks that I had them in. And I do normally grind my teeth through stress. So yeah, I got a night guard because I'm like, I just paid a lot of money. I didn't want to fuck up my veneers. Or I'm like, will porcelain damage my own teeth? I don't want to damage my bottom teeth with my veneers if they're just like and that's about it. I carry floss around in my purse because I hate the feeling of having stuff in between my teeth. I got used to having gaps in my mouth that food in between my teeth wasn't really an issue, but it kind of hurts, like it feels uncomfortable. So I always have floss in my bag. I can't use those little toothpicks anymore because sometimes the floss won't go back down and I'm scared to pop a veneer off. I get them cleaned once a year. You can go twice a year if you're like paranoid, and then they do take x-rays to check the integrity of my teeth underneath every time. So that does give me peace of mind as far as like tooth decay, because it's something that I'm really like paranoid about. Before I got my teeth fixed, I used to have nightmares that my teeth would fall out, like specifically my canines, my baby teeth. And now if I have anxiety nightmares, they're my veneers popping off. So I think no matter what, I'm gonna have anxiety dreams. I believe I answered all the questions and said everything that I would want to hear as somebody considering veneers, but feel free to ask me anything down below or share your experience. Are you missing your laterals too? Let me know. Mutants stand together. But yeah, dental health. Very, very important. Okay, consider subscribing if you like my vibe. I'm on Adderall now, so hopefully that will help with my consistency. All right, see you later.